see a very strong, very well-pronounced hook echo in addition to the very strong velocity returns. And that's why if you live in Greensburg, the vicinity of Greensburg and to the south, I really suggest you go down to your storm shelters.
It was just quiet, and all of a sudden, poof, house just started flying apart in pieces.
Greensburg has become more of a ghost town. Only a few venture out with all they have left. Homes are ripped apart, some perched sideways on their foundations. Entire blocks of houses are now piles of debris.
We are starting from the beginning. We're creating a town, and this is an opportunity to build it from the ground up and to build it energy effectively and to rebuild it green.
Sonia and her husband were given Greensburg's first residential building permit since the tornado hit. And officials at the Greensburg building office say this is just the beginning.
We have 3 additional applications here pending for site-built homes that we'll probably be able to issue by the end of this week or the very first part of next week.
Officials are looking to hire people for everything from cleanup and rebuilding positions like city planner and community development.
But some parts of town are still under a moratorium on rebuilding. One area is the corridor where Highway 54 is expected to move once things are settled in town. Eyewitness News reporter Megan Strader shows us how frustrations are running high.
With 3 building moratoriums set to expire on Friday, the Greensburg City Council called a special meeting on Thursday to make sure the time is right. The new site is only a block north of where the highway is now. And after some discussion, the council decided neither the city nor KDOT is ready to open that area up to construction. So they extended the moratorium for another 2 weeks. The mayor just asked that everyone be patient as they work through the details.
It just takes time. I mean, we're only 6 weeks out from the tornado, so like it or not, it takes time.
Greensburg's recovery efforts reaching a new stage as state officials begin moving out of the city.
They're gone now because Greensburg is officially in recovery mode.
Recovery is going fast, and we're starting to move into a recovery phase off of an emergency phase.
A spot where more than 250 displaced families can come and live will soon be open right next to the devastated city. Something FEMA officials say will push the recovery into an even higher gear.
The folks at Greensburg need a place to live close to their rebuilding work, and that's why we have this site right on the edge of town.
Now Greensburg residents will continue to discuss and debate the long-term look of their town. A town hall meeting is scheduled for next Thursday.
Representative Jerry Moran leading the applause as a newly repaired multifamily housing facility was dedicated Sunday afternoon in Greensburg. At a separate gathering, Moran met with those leading the rebuilding efforts in Greensburg. A number of serious issues would also be discussed, including the big and vital challenge of trying to land a grocery store. Congressman Moran also hearing of a multi-million-dollar disappointment. It turns out a Department of Labor grant can only be used for manual labor such as cleanup. Not good, say town leaders, who insist the money would be much better spent to bring in architects and professional city planners. Moran and his fellow politicians also taking a bus tour of Greensburg today, taking careful notes along the way so that when they head back to Washington, they can tell federal government officials what needs remain most pressing.
But here I want to emphasize one of the frustrations we had that you can help us with. Our county had no professional leadership. We need professional management.
The water's drinkable, the sewer system's up and running, and electricity is on its way. But without the needed management, the bigger problems in Greensburg are still not solved.
We need a large business to make a commitment on faith.
We need professionals to help with inspections, with just the management of rebuilding.
People in Greensburg take a break from cleaning up to do some brainstorming. They talked about dozens of topics yesterday, all dealing with the direction they want that city to go. Eyewitness News reporter Megan Strader was there. She continues our coverage of rebuilding Greensburg.
Well, free food may have had something to do with it, but the line to get into Thursday's city meeting stretched halfway across Davis Park in Greensburg.
Because we actually have an opportunity to start from scratch which on the one hand is terrible, but on the other hand is marvelous.
Terry Woodlawn is one of many who helped put Thursday night's meeting together. Greensburg residents had their choice of 28 topics where they could give input and hear other people's concerns.
It's all about dreaming, no decisions, no marketing, no whining. It's all about, can we make it work in our community for the next 100 years? We can start from scratch. Let's do it right.
It didn't take long for people to pick their topics, even though many came under the tent with nothing specific in mind.
I don't know that I really rate one any more specific right now than any other. I guess I'm kind of like to see direction in a lot of different areas.
Being addressed, personally, I just wanted to come and see what was going to come out in this meeting and what progress was being made.
And people weren't shy. They jumped right in with ideas on what businesses the town needs, what qualities city leaders need, and what they expect from the school system. Suggestions that Dee Fulton says are necessary.
Townspeople should have a say in how the town is being rebuilt and the progress and the direction that it's going.
A feeling echoed throughout the tent.
All the ideas from the meeting will be gathered and presented at the next City Steering Committee meeting that is coming up.
She was escorted in by state troopers just like she was the last time she came to Greensburg. But Governor Sebelius says this time, things look a lot different.
I am so impressed every time I come with what incredible progress is being made.
Sebelius spent Thursday talking with local leaders about where they were and where they wanted to be. Residents are currently working on a long-term reconstruction plan, and the governor says she's currently working on pushing for rebuilding incentives and making sure the town's bills are paid.
It needs a full court effort to get people jobs, to rebuild the businesses and the school, people's homes, and that's underway, and I think Kansans should be very proud of what's happening here.
On her trip, Sebelius visited the new high school and talked with local residents. Bill Mosier is currently living in a FEMA trailer. He says that since the governor played such an instrumental role in convincing Dillons to rebuild in Greensburg, she can come back anytime.
$400,000 will allow the city of Greensburg to oversee the construction of affordable single-family homes. The USDA says rural development low-interest loans will be used to provide financing for the home's mortgages. So far, the United Way has raised more than $1 million to help Greensburg residents.
The two organizations say that town needs more affordable housing. Now, their effort will allow Kiowa County to create a community self-help housing program. It's something the leaders in Greensburg say will help people there get back on their feet.
I think, you know, it's been fun to do the dance with the folks in this long-term planning thing, because I see nothing but opportunities in this process. So at this point, I challenge the citizens of the community and the commission in particular to get comfortable with the community plan, because that's where we're headed, and we'll try to carry the ball for the community as best we can, because I think at the city level it's going to fall to Steve's shoulder and the city council. So, and I thank FEMA very much for all the input that they've time spent, and all the members of the community who spent hours and hours and hours in charrettes or whatever they were called. Because I initially told them they could roll their charrette up and smoke it because it wasn't going to last till December, and luckily it didn't last till December. So I think we've made a lot of headway in a very short period of time, which I think was critical in this situation, because the folks at Greensburg were not going to wait to rebuild.
I don't know what to say other than this is a group effort, and if everybody continues to work together, we're going to get it done.
I guess all that I'd like to add to that is it appears as of now we're all headed in the same direction.
That's important.
All right.